everybody. John and Ronnie.
John and Ronnie.
Back again with a video, and this time, tell them what the video is about, baby.
It's about Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl
Right. And Ronnie getting in, what do they call that?
Mood?
No. Oh, God. What is that word called? I always forget what that word. Inducted into a sports family.
That's true, because in my family, we really didn't. I don't know. It's a lot of women, and really, my uncle and my cousin was really the only men, in the immediate family. And my uncle would watch sports or whatever, but he wasn't the type to, he'd be watching football or something like that. But it wasn't like, the whole family was involved or whatever. So I was really never, other than sports that I played in school, I was really never, a sports fanatic or whatever. So, like growing up, my dad wasn't really around that much, so it wasn't like, I had it from that. And my dad was a boxer, so he was like a Golden Globe boxer, so he was into boxing. He loved Muhammad Ali.
So did you have any women in your family that like sports?
No, not at all. So we just went about our daily life. It was really no kind of sports thing going on. And I dated guys who were kind of into sports. I dated a guy who was like into hockey and tried to tell me about hockey, and that just didn't really fly. And I knew how the games were played. I just wasn't interested in it. So then along comes Johnny, Go Lucky, and you tell him.
I'm a little bit on the opposite side of that scale, not being really interested in sports.
Yeah, John's a fanatic. Definitely about football. Tell him what happened in your family growing up in football.
Football was probably one of the first sports that I was kind of introduced to, because my dad got season tickets through my Uncle Facci. Ronnie always thinks that's funny.
I don't believe he has an Uncle Facci.
Yeah, he's dead now, but I did have Uncle Facci. His first name was Francis, but everybody called him Uncle Facci. So he knew a guy down at the ticket agency, because he had, I don't know, they had 6 or 8 seats. He had a lot of seats. And he used to wind up giving my dad tickets, and then eventually my dad would buy the season from him. But we always got screwed in that deal, because when my dad would buy the season from him, that's when they sucked. And then basically when they went to the playoffs, what wound up happening is he would give the playoff ticket to somebody else, because we didn't. And then eventually he wound up giving us a couple playoff tickets, and then eventually my dad got his own seats. But for me, it was almost, it was just a time of the season. And I always hear people, especially from southern states, when they talk about like high school football, how it's a religion. With our family, it was a religion, because we would watch them in the like late August in the preseason games, and then we would go from the preseason into the start of the season in September. And it was like every Sunday, it was like, well, what are you doing? What are you bringing over and stuff like that. It was just, me and my dad really bonded that way. And I guess for the Eagles to make the Super Bowl this year, because this is basically the first season that he's not around, because he passed away in June. It really means something to me that they did make the playoffs and they did get this far, and hopefully tomorrow they wind up winning it, because to me, like I said, it was everything, for something that we shared for like 6 months every year of getting together, getting food and stuff, and just watching the game. And we really bonded that way. And even when we had our season tickets, I think they extended into like through the 90s. And we started going in the 70s, and it was really good. So like I said, it was just, to me, it was something special that, like I said, I'll probably never duplicate again. My son likes the Eagles, he watches them, but he's got like his own things going, so it's not the same thing when it comes to that sport with me and him. So like I said, that's why when I sit back and think of like all the times me and my dad had, they're just like some really precious times. But when Ronnie came in, why don't you tell him your story? Well, you did tell him that you weren't really into sports and stuff, but how was it basically coming in? And I'm a little fanatical,
No, he's very. crazy with the sport
But
thing.
like when you watch the first game with me and you see me, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna start from the very beginning, because me coming in, not realizing, dealing with somebody who is a fanatic, every little thing counts. Like, I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I told the story over and over again. I felt that because I was on, like, as far as Pennsylvania goes, I was like bi-coastal, Philly and then Pittsburgh. And I thought that, I could get a Steelers jersey. John always came in with that, what do you call it? That's a violation. Everything's a violation. So when we first started dating, I think either it was it's something, no, it wasn't your birthday. Something came up, I don't know, I went somewhere and they had this really nice Yankee Stadium, and it was a really nice frame and everything, and it was the Yankees. So my whole thing, I knew he liked baseball. I wasn't thinking, oh, you should get a Phillies thing. All they had was Yankee stuff, and I thought, oh, this is a really, really, it was a really nice picture, and it might have been like a black and white or something, like the old time state. Anyway, I thought it was really
a nice picture, babe.
And I got it for him, and I think he accepted it, but it was almost begrudgingly, like, I dare you give me a Yankee, framed up picture or whatever. And I didn't know, and then he proceeded to go off on a rant about it, and I thought, well, damn, I just thought it was like, he never put it up. He threw it in a closet somewhere, and I think he probably ended up throwing it in the trash. And, for somebody we're just starting to date, I'm like, wow, that's really kind of crazy. So little did I know, that's just the way he is. Now let's flash back to all the games we watching. He's like he's there on the, the yard line with them, jumping all around, acting all crazy. The last football game we watched when they won, and the game that, who was that against?
That was a championship game against the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay, to go against the 49ers. John was up on his feet the whole time. If they was running, he was jumping around. I mean, he would not sit still. And I told him, I said, don't want it to happen. Just watch what does happen. He was a nervous wreck this whole game. Now, to me, it's a game. I understand it, but John feels it in his soul. And it's like he's running around with them. He would not sit down. He was on his feet. He was breathing hard. I thought I was going to have to give him oxygen. And I'm like, it's just, whatever. It's just a game. And he was just so crazy. At one point I thought he said, okay, I think this is it. They're not going to be able to get a touchdown. And I think we're going, and then he was all excited. I mean, I can get excited about it, but he's a little psychotic when it comes to football. And it's like I can't have the jerseys I want. I mean, he did break down and let me have a Ocho Cinco jersey.
Which tonight he predicted the Eagles were going to win tomorrow.
So
you got the jersey for the lifetime now. But that's just something like it's not that I didn't appreciate the picture that she gave me from the Yankees, because I appreciated her buying me something. But it's like, if you're a Philly fan, and New York fans, if there's people who are subscribed or who watch us from New York or other states, they know that their commitment is to their team. So the last thing you want, although it was a nice thought, because she did.
I'm not trying to hear it.
But the last thing you want is for somebody to take Philly as always taking a back seat to New York in sports. The last thing you want is for your girlfriend, fiance, future wife, to hand you something from New York that has to do with Yankees. It's just. But again, I can't blame Ronnie, because again, Ronnie didn't come from a sports. She don't know what the etiquette is. She didn't know what the rules were.
I don't know sports etiquette.
Right. So you didn't know what the rules were in the sports thing. This would be the equivalent. Okay, let me pick a team now. So let's say,
drink some water.
Let me see. Let me pick a team where there's like a rivalry.
I know about rivalries.
If we did
Pittsburgh, that's a rivalry.
Okay, so let's say if we did Flyers and Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, they're in the same state. That's hockey. They're hated rivals. If you're from Pittsburgh and your girlfriend gives you a Flyers pennant, of course you're going to be upset. It's not you appreciate her giving it to you, but you don't want a Flyers pennant if you root for Pittsburgh Penguins. That's just the way it is. But see, Ronnie didn't know this because she didn't know the whole sports thing. She knew a little bit about boxing because her dad was into boxing. But again, there is etiquette that goes along with this. Etiquette. Is that what you know?
It's etiquette. And he jammed that down my throat. But, I mean, to me, it's just... I guess he's really been the only one that's been able to get me into football where I watch it and I kind of understand it. I actually went out and got a book on football. I thought, well... That's because she loved me. Right. I'm like, I want to understand this. So it was about... I'm trying to think who wrote it. I forget who wrote it. But it was a woman who wrote the book to say that, if you're a woman out there and you're trying to understand your husband or your boyfriend and why they're in there, she wrote it from, like, her perspective. And it was actually a pretty good book, and it... Oh, what is her name? Pete... I forget her first name.
Oh, that was Rodney Pete's wife.
Yeah. I'm forgetting her first name. But anyway, she wrote a book on it. It was actually a kind of a good book or whatever. But my whole point was, I wanted to learn. It wasn't that I didn't want to know about football. I just really never met any guy that felt like sitting down and say, hey, this is what happens. This is a touchdown. This is this. This is that. I mean, I don't have to know everything about it, but I would like to know exactly, the like mechanics,
the strategy, the rules of the game.
Yeah, so John was really the only one that kind of sat down and got me into that. So now, when they're running up and down, I'm screaming and yelling. He'll come back in and say, hey, what happened? I missed it. And I'm able to tell him what happened.
Or she says, I was looking at my phone. I don't know. Mm-hmm. She does do that a lot. So.
Whatever, you get the playback.
But to me, I think more than her giving me the Yankees picture, it meant more to me though that she did take an interest, like of all the sports, because I watch all 4 sports, but I'm really into football. But I think it meant more to me that she took the interest in football because football meant so much to me growing up. And like I said, she's probably like me and her are more bonded with the whole football thing than probably me and my son. So like I said, it makes me feel good that we do share that bond, because I think it's important in any relationship that you have certain bonds to different things. And like I said, when my dad passed, it was like something was lost there. But like I said, Ronnie she kind of bridged that gap. Although my dad would never give me a Yankees picture either. She's still cute.
So you're lucky you get anything. But that was like, oh my God, is he serious? Yeah. But now I understand.
So how was it the 5 years ago when we went out to our first Super Bowl party together?
So that was fun. We're going to get into Chicken and Pete's tomorrow. But that was a lot of fun being out in the atmosphere. And if you guys know anything about Phillies fans ride hard for their teams. And it was just crazy. Everybody was out. They were celebrating. We was having a good time. They get yardage. They get touchdowns. Everybody screaming, high-fiving, all over the place. And it was a lot of fun. I think it's probably going to be like that again tomorrow night.
But did you see, like, when you went in that element where I may have not looked normal with like me and you watching the game, but when you went in that element, like people running around, throwing their arms up in the air, doing kind of crazy things, high fives. Because to me, that's a smaller version, like when me and my dad would go to the vet. Mm-hmm. That's what people did. People screaming at the screen, Ronnie's like, I'm just not married to a lunatic at home, but look at all the other lunatics at the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
See, I blend in when you put me with my own kind.
I guess. As they say, if you can see it, it's a Philly thing.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it.
Oh, so I did want to show this because This is a pom-pom from the 1980 championship. I believe this is 43 years old now. This was when the Eagles went to the 1981 Super Bowl against the Raiders, which they lost, which they should have never lost. Damn you, Ron Jaworski. But this pom-pom came from 1981. They gave them away for free. And I'm afraid to shake it now because all the paper, it falls out. I was just showing Ryan's mom in a room, and a big piece of paper fell underneath her bed. I'm not getting it. I just left it there. Pretend it didn't fall. But this is 43 years old. They gave us... I actually picked up a few that somebody threw on the ground after the championship game, and I kept them on my wall alongside a couple pennants. I was really proud of that, though, because this is something me and my dad shared. This little memorabilia. And I do have one other thing I want to show before Ronnie goes on with the video. This jersey, number 31, is Hobbs, which I wore the last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl 5 years ago. But I'm not wearing it this time because it means something special because they won. So
I thought you were going to wear it again. You got that superstitious thing going on.
No. We have... I'll be wearing the Kelly Green Brandon Graham jersey this year. And the reason I will be wearing it because we watched the divisional playoff game and we watched the conference championship game. I wore it both times and they won. If they lost with that jersey, the Hobbs jersey, then it wouldn't be so special. I retired that jersey after they won the Super Bowl.
So there's something scientific about that.
Right. So I will retire the Brandon Graham jersey should they win the Super Bowl tomorrow, because again, you want it to be undefeated. So if you wear it and they lose, then that jersey doesn't mean anything. Again, you don't know this sports etiquette, right? You know, Ronnie.
Folks, help me.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there, their boyfriends with their husbands, or women, are you like that? Guys, is your wife or your girlfriend this way over sports? Let us know in the comments because I'm curious. I know, like I said, Philly fans ride hard for their teams, but John's a little out there. So are some of these other people.
I retire my jerseys when they win. If you win the Super Bowl and I'm wearing that jersey is with me till I die. And
speaking of which, I have jerseys. I've got at least 4
that she lost
5 jerseys, and I have no idea what happened with them. I started cleaning out closets and everything.
You had 2 jerseys, didn't you?
No, I had the Kelly Green one, and I had at least 2 or 3 of the new colors.
Hey, you had to throw down on one of them bags.
That's what I said. Only thing I can think of is that. Because I have a lot of my clothes that I pack away in closets, like in garment bag type things, or, like the box type things, you can fold them up. And for all of them to be missing means that they were all in the same compartment or bag or something and just got thrown away. Personally, I think he has something to do with it. This has got John written all over it.
But, why would I throw away your jerseys?
No, a bag. Like I have something in a bag and you're like, oh, this isn't anything anybody wants, and you just throw it away. He does that. He's done it.
Well, I'm going to get Ronnie a whole new wardrobe because if they lose tomorrow, we can get all the discount jerseys. And if they win tomorrow, we won't buy the Super Bowl ones right away, but we will buy the conference championship ones because they all go half price because everybody's trying to win.
Let me tell you about how this crazy guy went all over the city or calling
to get my wife a shirt.
A shirt, and I told him, I'll just wear black, and I got my green Kelly socks.
Gotta have a shirt.
And I'll wear that. And he kept.
And it's got the Eagles emblem on it too.
Well, it's got the Eagles emblem.
A black shirt would have had the Eagles emblem. You gotta have the Eagles emblem.
I was gonna wear the Eagles thing that's got the emblem on it.
I'm gonna have a jersey. I got the big green chain. I got the Eagles head hat. And when this gets too hot, then I got a regular. I
don't think it's gonna get hot now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that off when we get there. But then I got a regular Eagles thing. You can't go in there with just a black shirt, babe. This isn't the Emmys.
What?
This is sports. This is more important.
Okay, so this is going to be a 3-part video. So we wanted to come on tonight to just get you all revved up for Super Bowl.
So tomorrow's our prep before we go
to
the restaurant.
We're gonna do. I don't know what the prep
I'm going to get up. I'm going to do a little thing on my phone, just showing you all the stuff that I got ready and stuff like that. I'm going to wake up Ronnie. She'll be sleeping till noon.
No, I won't. Yeah, I don't sleep till noon.
Yeah,
he knows
sleep
that.
Kind of late.
My alarm goes off at 7 o'clock every day.
Then she goes back to sleep at 11.
Why not? I can do it. So.
But then I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna be like giving Ronnie fashion tips. She's gonna be dressing up. Actually, she wearing this shirt, but the other shirt I got her is a tie-dye, which she says she'd be wearing tomorrow, because I thought that was kind of nice. Although that one was a little more expensive. That was like $35. But money is no object.
I will move over because lightning about to strike.
Yeah, but Ronnie got this tie-dye. This shirt really looks good. I had to go to 3 different shirt dealers, and I had one woman around the corner from us. She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it for you." She ghosted me, So I drove all over because Ronnie started saying how I was like crazy with this, but I thought it was important.
Really
This was something. Hey, this is my off season. I'm not doing grass. I'm looking basically to put my woman in an Eagles jersey or shirt. Can't really do the jersey because somebody lost their jerseys, and jerseys are $120 in an off season. That's not a good thing. What do you think?
I don't. So, like I said, we're gonna this is gonna be a 3-part. So we're on here tonight. Go Birds.
We got to prep tomorrow, and then
we're gonna probably do a little bit of
prep tomorrow and lead it into after the game.
And do a little video while we're at Chicky and Pete's.
Oh, and you should attach. Can you attach that video from the last Super Bowl to this one?
I will. I'll put some. I'll see if I can grab some
because we have
shots of
footage.
that. Some footage from the last Super Bowl.
Because that was really crazy.
Yeah. And then I'll put that in. See what I can do. We'll make the video all nice for you guys.
Yeah.
So
you'll either see me at the end of this next video, which is part 2. I'll either be crying of tears because they lost, or it'll be tears of joy because they beat Andy Reid, because he's a sucker.
And I might even put in some sound bites from John cursing out somebody on the radio about the whole Andy Reid.
And Donovan McNabb just trots up like it's a preseason game.
We won't even get into that. Yeah, he got on the radio, the sports radio was going off about Andy Reid.
He needs to turn around and pull him out and put somebody in, just like you would put.
But see, before we end this video, let's break this down a little bit. Because
what would you do?
What would you do if
you had a quarterback that had a broken ankle that was laying
on the sound bite? I don't think you want me to do the whole thing.
Okay, so basically, let's just break this down a little bit. I got a theory.
Dude,
this is my theory when it comes to sports players and coaches.
If you had a cornerback, he was exhausted. He couldn't play. Know what Donovan McNabb's problem was? He had no heart.
Or a player, unless that player has achieved the ultimate goal, which is winning a championship. You can say he was an excellent player. You can say he was a player that basically, one of the best players in history. You never put great in front of a player unless that player basically achieves the ultimate thing, which is basically winning a championship. The problem we have in Philly is there are a lot of people that believe that, and I'm gonna call out some people here. Donovan McNabb, Andy Reid, they both played in basically the same seasons. That was his quarterback. You don't put great in front of a quarterback or a coach unless they win for that city the ultimate goal, which is a Super Bowl. No one cares about your statistics. If you have 200 wins as a coach, then basically, did you win a Super Bowl? No. I don't care about the 200 wins. Quarterback could have 300 wins. Did you win a Super Bowl? No. I don't care about your passing records, your wins, or how many games you won in the playoffs. With coaches and basically players, if you won a Super Bowl, I don't care who you are. You can put great. You could be an average returner. You were in that Super Bowl. You made one good play. You're great because you won the ultimate goal. Fans don't go from August to January sitting in the cold, the heat, the rain, all the elements of the weather outside, because most stadiums are outside, for basically your statistics. They go for you to win a championship. So when a sports guy, a host, I'm going to do that in little rabbit quotes, when a host gets on there and basically says, he basically gets on there and says, I think any Eagles fan should apologize to this coach or this player because of saying about that they, you know, how bad this guy was when he didn't win a championship. You should be ashamed of yourself. You need to call out the host.
And that's basically what he did.
And that's what I did. You know, because again, it's not about your statistics. It's not. No one cares about how many wins you did. Me and my dad waited years, and like I said, from the 70s all the way up to when he passed away a couple years, well, last year, but basically he was kind of out of it the last couple of years. But we waited years, and we had plans. We had planned trips around Super Bowls, which we had to cancel. No one cares about how great you think somebody was unless they won a championship. Jabroni. That's what the Rock says. I don't care what you think about playoff. Jabroni. Look, my pecker's falling down into my nose. You see this?
See it.
Oh God.
All right.
I better not do that tomorrow. They'll throw me out.
So, with all that said,
that was my rant.
Yeah. With all that said, like I said, this is going to be like a 3-part video, but we're going to get this out, and
if they lose, it'll be a 2-part video.
Yeah, you won't be able to pick John up off the ground, so I'm not going to open this video.
Oh. So, cheers.
Cheers.
You want to do Eagle Chant?
I'm going to do it. Cheers. Okay.
So you want to do the Fly Eagles Fly?
We can do the Fly.
Okay, ready?
1, 2,
3. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fight, fight, fight. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit them low, hit them high. Watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S.
Eagles!
For you who can't spell, that really looked good.
Yeah. Alright, folks, so we're going to take it out of here, and all we can say is, Go Birds!
Go Birds! I like that.
Alright.
That was from somebody who didn't watch sports till they met me.
Go Birds! Eagles! Yeah! See you, folks.
Hey, you're so cute.